What's up? It's your boy Gemini Jynx. We on the run and we flooding the town with Sicarah.com. Tap in, Gemini Jynx.
101 Beats. Hey, what's up? It's your girl Sicarah, and you already know you are now tuned into On the Run. Today I have with me a very special guest, Gemini Jynx.
What's up?
Yeah, so first of all, congratulations on you releasing City of Gems. Now, I just want to say that was so clever. The fact that you released this music video featuring Jadakiss, which I'm curious to know, like, what power did you have to know? Because you also have a song with Jim Jones, all right? And you released Flood the Town right before, like days before the verses with Jadakiss and The Locks, obviously, versus Dipset. Everybody's seen it. So first, let's talk about that release. Did you have some type of seeing of some sort to know that this was going to go down?
Nah, actually, it's like the universe kind of just aligned it for me. Like, I didn't plan that at all. We actually dropped it, like you said, probably like a week before the verses happened. But it was already planned that way for months ahead. We were just getting the edits ready, and it just happened to fall out in our favor, and that shit went viral.
So, yes, that's amazing. I have to ask you, I'm assuming you watched the verses, right? When it actually went down?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? Because I know you knew.
Nah, yeah, I was going crazy. I actually made like a little playlist for like the pre-verses, because I got a couple of them on my album. So I was like, you could have your own version of the verses through my album if you just tune in. So yeah, I was bugging out when I was watching that shit. It was like, it brought a vibe back to like the 90s and like the early 2000s, and I was like, this is what hip hop is, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I definitely enjoyed that shit. Big ups to both of them, Dipset Locks, held it down for the city. And it's like they reignited like that side of hip hop, you know what I'm saying?
They definitely did, and it's so funny because I feel like it aligns with what you were doing in the first place.
Yeah, it's like somebody took like a page out of my book and said, yeah, let's do this. Nah, yeah, but it was lit. That was lit. The culture needed that shit for real.
Right, and just for people out there who do not know, all right, you're talking about Jadakiss, Alice P, Vado, Jim Jones, Corey Guns, Tony Yayo. The list goes on. So I have to ask you, since you called the project City of Gems, I'm assuming that's one of the main reasons of why you wanted to have so many different artists from New York.
I feel like those artists are like gems to the culture, you know. So I wanted to put them all together on my first like official album and do something that hasn't really been done in New York City, you know. Do something different. Who else is like bringing, like, you know what I'm saying, like showing respect to the older generation, you know what I'm saying? Like they paved the way for a lot of us, so I felt like there was a way to repay them back for what they did for us coming out and growing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I did want to know for you, right? I know you said that they paved the way, but what specifically makes a gem a gem? Because there are so many artists that held it down.
It's like a gem is like timeless. It's like timeless music. You know what I'm saying? Music that doesn't get old. You just still look at the verses. That's a perfect example. Like as soon as that shit gets played, it just brings you right back to that vibe. To me, I just feel like my upbringing and what I was listening to when I was a kid, those are just like the people that I would consider like gems to my come up.
Facts, that makes sense. And I think for a lot of artists, their childhood, their town, their culture plays a really big role in them pursuing music. So I really have to find out, where is your town? What is your town? Like,
we flooding the town. I'll let you know that. I'm originally I grew up in the Bronx, like around like Sedgwick area, Bainbridge area.
Okay.
That I had when I turned like into my teenage years. I moved to like Bronx and Akron. I met like a few of the artists that's on the project too. I grew up with them, so we developed a relationship by making music in the town, and it's been going on for a while that we've all been doing it. So I figured I'd put them on the project too, because they also mean something to the culture, because we've been doing this since we was kids too, you know what I'm saying? We all have our own story, our own legacy that we're building. So we're here.
That's true. So how long was the project in making?
It was in making for a year. I wanted to drop it last summer as soon as it was done, but I had to wait for some things, you know, I had to be patient. So everything worked out the way it should have anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even mad at it, but yeah, it took a year, exactly a year, from when I started it for it to drop. Exactly a year.
Wow, that's insane. Is there something that you want to just tell people out there who feel discouraged? Because a lot of artists reach out to other artists. They try to get a feature. They can't even get one, let alone over 10. So what advice would you give?
Is you gotta put work in, like, be consistent. Don't give up. Your name is gonna start ringing bells, like, behind the scenes. You won't know. It's not like somebody's gonna tell you. You're just gonna find out eventually. So just keep working. Your name is gonna start ringing off, and it's gonna be easier to build relationships with these people and network with these people. And also, like, the more you work on yourself, the more you level up. So you're gonna be on these people's levels. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna want to collaborate with you. They're gonna want to work with you. They think your shit is dope. That's how it should happen. Just keep on grinding.
That was really good advice, by the way. I don't think people realize that the level up is a gradual process. It's not you just wake up and all of a sudden you're there.
Like, I didn't start this last night, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for over a decade, so for me to get to this point, it took a lot. It took a lot of investments, a lot of letdowns, heartbreaks, all types of shit, because it's a passion, you know, so.
Right.
You can only imagine. So.
It's the letdowns that I really want to touch on just for a little bit, because I truly believe without the pain, without the failure, you cannot go higher, right? Because you're going to be stagnant. So
you gotta take those L's and learn lessons from them. Everything is a lesson in life, but specifically when you take a loss, you really have to capitalize on the lesson behind it so it doesn't happen again.
Right, and I totally respect that, and I'm just gonna take a little leap right here and ask you. Have you ever had a situation where, let's say, one artist said no at one point, and then all of a sudden now look, they're on your project? Like, did you ever go through something like that, or something similar where you thought you couldn't have it, like a year ago you couldn't have it, and now all of a sudden it's yours?
Not really. I mean, like, for the Jim Jones joint, I had that hook for like maybe like a year or two before I even put it out on the project. But I had hit him up and I was like, yo, I got this hook for you, I didn't get a response, but like a year later I tried again and I got the response. So, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta keep on working. You never know who's listening to what.
That's fine. Wow, that's a really good story. Talking Crazy went and got yourself bodied. That's what you call karma. Choose what you do wisely. And I was like, wow, like that was like a really good lyric. I mean, your lyrics are really dope though. I'm not gonna front. Like I was listening to it, I saw a lot of references to like snitching and things like that. And I was like, yeah, he's from New York. Don't know where, but like, he's out here. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you lyrically, right? Yeah. Who are the artists that you really listen to? Like you don't have to do the top 5, but like maybe if there's 1 or 2 that you remember knowing their lyrics and being like, wow.
Well, like coming up, growing up. Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of 50 Cent. I used to listen to a lot of Fabulous, a lot of Lloyd Banks, a lot of Jadakiss, a lot of Styles P, a lot of Big Pun.
Yeah.
I like the older generation, you know, that was my vibe. But yeah, those are the main ones that I grew up listening to. And a lot of Lil Wayne too, because he took over a certain time period and I was just like stuck on that vibe, you know what I'm saying? Because they always had something somewhere, so it was like never ended.
No, that's a fact. I mean, do you have a favorite lyric from yourself that you ever spit that really stands out like, wow?
Not a lyric, I want to say I got a whole song that I think is very important for humanity to listen to because I feel like it can change a lot of people's minds on shit, and it's called Be Kind.
Ooh.
That song, I feel like if everybody would shut up for like 10 minutes and listen to that song at one time, it'll change a lot of shit that's going on in this world, but people ain't gonna do that, so.
Wow. Okay, so I have to check that song out. I did not hear that song.
That's if you wanna like take a peek inside my mind for real and like hear like some real lyricism and shit, you go listen to that shit.
Be Kind.
Yeah, it's called Be Kind.
No, I'm definitely going to check that out because that's a title that you don't hear in the hip hop genre
Yeah.
ever. Like you probably have the only song with that title.
Yeah, I like to do different types of music. Like if you listen to my songs, like none of them really sound the same.
They
you
do
always
not.
you always get a different vibe from me. That's living up to my name, Gemini.
Yeah, it was so funny because when I heard Gemini Jynx, that really stood out to me because first of all, I'm like Gemini has two sides, so I think he's trying to tell us, you know, he's definitely a true Gemini. But then Jynx, I was like, wait, is he a walking Jinx? Like, hold on a second. We have to talk about that. Like,
Yeah,
what is that?
Yo, that's funny because that's not even why I named myself Jinx, but it just so happens that I be Jinx and shit. So it's a thing that everybody that I know runs with. That's why, like, in the early stages, I used to have a tag in the beginning of my songs, and it used to be like, it's the Jinxer, because I used to jinx shit, you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, the Jinx shit comes from my great grandfather. He was in the mafia, and that was his name, Big Jinx. So I just wanted to keep his name alive in a positive way, you know what I'm saying? Because he was out here wilding. So.
That's a really good backstory. I figured I was like, it's probably nothing what I'm thinking, but I just.
Nah, it had something to do with what you was thinking. So that's why I ran with it and stuck with it. And plus, like, I was talking to one of my boys earlier today because he was like, why don't you just stick with the name Gemini? Like, it's so hard. Like, if you type in Gemini, you ain't gonna just find Gemini. And so many people named Gemini. You Google Gemini, you're gonna get a bunch of different things. If you Google Gemini Jynx, you're gonna see my face. So,
That was smart.
yeah.
Yeah, very strategic. I can tell you're very strategic in what you do, and that's one of the reasons I want to know, like, what are two things you think you do that really yield to success?
My persistence, I think, and I have like a very strategic mind when it comes to things. Like, I like to be calculated.
I can tell. Yep, definitely. So this part of the interview, you will finish the sentence. I'll just say it, and then you go. Okay.
Let's go.
You know someone is from the Bronx when?
They say dead ass.
Okay. You knew you wanted to pursue music seriously when?
I was about, I want to say 25 when I knew I wanted to take it serious, but I always had it in me since I was like first starting, like 14, 15. I knew, like, I just knew I felt it, you know what I'm saying? I felt something about it.
That's early. Wow, that's high school.
I actually started music because I was on fucking punishment one day. I had everything taken away from me, right? So I was in the crib. I didn't have the computer taken away from me because I had to do homework. So, you know, we had LimeWire and shit back then.
Oh, word.
I used to download beats and then, like, I just used to write to them and then record on the Microsoft shit because I had nothing else to do. So, and I was listening to it's funny, I was listening to Jadakiss on Hot 97 with Funk Flex, and they was rapping and shit, and that's when it started. I was like, I think I can do that shit too. Listening to these dudes for mad years, I think I can do this shit too. So I just started writing, and the rest was history.
Wow. So wait, do you have that story where you went to school and you shared it with your friends?
Yeah, I mean, there was actually a few friends that we all started making music, and we would just send each other songs. We would hop on each other's songs. It was
That's
pretty
dope.
cool. Yeah, 8th grade, that shit was dope.
Wow. Okay, so there was a collective. That could have had a whole rap group.
Yeah, we could have. I mean, we kind of, when we got older, we did, but it was with different individuals. But
Okay.
yeah, it was good times. It was fun.
That's fire.
Yeah.
So the ultimate goal for you is?
To be financially stable and just not necessarily wealthy, but just live in comfort, doing what I love. That's like the main goal in life. Because if you think about it, everybody wakes up, chases a dream. Sometimes that ain't even theirs. You know what I'm saying? It's important that you follow your own way in life, because when we go, the only person that you have to make happy or do anything for in the long run is you. So you don't go with none of this stuff that we accomplish. We don't go with none of that. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that whatever you're doing is for you. But make yourself happy first before you. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Last but not least, one thing you wish people knew about you was?
And I'm actually a really good baseball player. I miss playing baseball. I was actually doing baseball like right when I started the music thing, but started getting into other things that drifted me away from baseball. So I started taking music more serious. But yeah, I used to be real nice in baseball. I'll cook somebody.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard, like, I can't think of not one hip hop artist that is nice in baseball.
Hey, you never know until you ask. You never know.
Yeah, that's fire.
And I used to play everything: catcher, pitcher, shortstop, third base, all that shit. I used to be real nice, real nice.
Do you have a favorite?
I like to pitch because I like to be in control of the game.
I also just have to know, do you have a music video that's going to drop?
Yeah, alright, so people can find my music at GeminiJynx.com. That's the simplest way to find it. Or Google it, Gemini Jynx. It's everywhere, Apple, Spotify, Tidal. Anywhere you can think of, my music is there. And if it's not, it's gonna be there soon. But yeah, I actually do have another video dropping exactly a month from today with Corey Guns to Nightmares
Nice.
at the top. So I'm actually dropping it on Lil Wayne's birthday because it's like kind of like a dedication to Lil Wayne because that's what I made the whole song around. Nightmares at the top, his shit is Nightmares at the bottom. I just did like a little flip. So
Oh, that's dope.
yeah, so I'm doing like a little dedication of Wayne. I'm gonna drop it on his B-Day and that's it. And I'm gonna keep on working on other things too. We're gonna definitely put together a City of Gems concert too. It's gonna be dope.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. I can't wait for that.
That's
Can't
going to
wait.
be huge.
Yeah, it's gonna be something.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. I feel like everybody's fans is going to come together and just be like, who is the Gemini Jynx person? Thank you. Like, seriously, like, that could be like an annual event.
Let's see what happens. I'm thinking about doing maybe 3 stops, like, but within the boroughs, you know,
Okay.
like Yonkers, obviously, there's Jada Styles and Bronx. Maybe the other artists, Trap Manny and Tropical, and then last stop maybe Harlem, Manhattan. Maybe we'll do like Jim Jones, but it's a thought. I gotta see how it's gonna work out. You know, they're busy too, so
Yeah.
it's something we gotta work out. But if anything, there's definitely gonna be a City of Gems concert. Let's just see how we plan this whole thing out.
That's going to be so lit.
And it's the first time I'm saying this, so you got the insight.
Thank you. All right, so there you have it. This is what strategy, talent, and good music looks like. So make sure you follow Gemini Jynx and stay tuned for more.